Hey, we made it.
Yay! Welcome to Mountain Bears. I'm Aeson Knight, and of course with me tonight is Techy Joe. Now, this is a show that I'm going to give you the headphone warning. Tonight's show would probably be best served on headphones, especially if you have little children around, because some of the topics we're going to talk about, I don't think is for their ears.
Well, that's up to everyone's discretion, but yeah, probably not. Probably not.
Yes.
Yeah, not a good kid show.
No.
Though really, are we ever like? I just wonder how many of our with children something tells me even Ashley listens to us with headphones.
I know, we're still going to give the warning anyhow when we're covering content like this.
Yes, and hello, future listeners and those on podcast, as well as, those of you who are here with us tonight. And hello, Jessica.
Hi, Jessica, and hello, Instagrammers. You guys will see this later. We finally pulled it all together.
See, even Jessica is thankful her child is sleeping.
Good.
Hi, Brenda.
Well, this has been an interesting week.
Oh, it's not that interesting.
Oh, it has.
Hey, Mika.
Hi, Mika. First we have the monolith that went from Utah to Romania.
Disappeared and then popped in Romania and disappeared again and then popped
in California.
Wow. That's so good.
And then a group of young Christian men decided to tear it apart and make a cross out of it.
Well, there you go. The funny part was, I saw the headline. I didn't have a chance to read the story. And then you started talking about it. And I was like, well, it landed in Utah. What did you expect?
Uh-huh.
That was my immediate reaction. Even just reading the headline as well, it landed in Utah. What did you expect?
Well, I think that could have landed in either Russia or Bosnia and Herzegovina.
Ah.
So, I don't know. We'll see what goes on with this phenomenon. I don't think it's a human or a government or anything like that.
Well, I'm just going, isn't this like the 2020 version of Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego?
Where is... No, I think it's the Under the Sea... what is it? Space Odyssey 2020 version.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because 2010 was 2001 A Space Odyssey was screwed with your head enough. 2010 was screwed enough because there was a follow-up. There's a sequel to 2001. And then, yeah, okay, I could see the 2020 version being and this is what happened.
Uh-huh.
Sort of like that Clue ending.
A plus B equals C, and we all say the Mafia did it.
There you go. I don't know. I always thought that was because there's actually more books than there are movies. So, there's more material there. You can do another one anytime now, please.
Yeah, that way they don't run out of material for 60 years.
Oh, come on. We got the first movie back in the 60s. We turn around, had to wait I don't know how long to get the second movie. And then why we've waited forever. Come on, there's more books in the series. Keep going.
I want to see a global map, however, where they landed. Because I'm wondering if it's on the same parallel. That would be interesting.
Oh, that would be nifty.
Well,
no, if it's the 38th, we'll find out soon enough.
Hey, if they install it in my backyard, I ain't telling nobody.
Hey, there you go. There you go.
But no, that's been interesting to follow and watch and then see the stupidity. Dear gods.
Hey, at least it's something else to talk about at not the water cooler. Like, what are we calling it now? If you're having Zoom meetings, is there a water cooler Zoom meeting? Is anyone having a Zoom water cooler?
No, honey, it's called Facebook.
Oh, it's called Facebook. Okay.
Or Fistagram. Friendstagram, Fistagram, something like that. It's fake Instagram.
Okay. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm glad we gave the small children warning for Fistagram.
Well,
like, there's our vulgarity strike.
Oh, I'm planning now to just freaking earn that. Let's talk about that for a moment.
Oh, yeah, because you were so upset about that. Not really, but more like, what?
Yes. Okay, so last Friday night's show, many of you guys in the audience was here for it. Did you see any sexually explicit content or vulgarity?
Well, now, vulgarity isn't necessarily explicit.
No, that's what they went for.
Oh.
Yeah, really? That it was vulgar and full of sexually explicit content.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, we discussed a fair amount about sexuality, which is, and not even directly, not like, and this is how lesbian relationships work. Like, and, this is how tentacle sex works. Don't Google that. Like, that's a horrible subgenre that should not exist, and I'm still horrified that I picked up that roommate CD without him knowing which one it was. So
yeah.
Anyway, not that I'm like kink shaming or whatever that falls under. But that's not really a good one to like. No. Yeah.
But
no.
anyhow, so somebody reported us to Facebook for having a vulgar show and being against community guidelines. Spent half the morning going, I don't think so.
Well, see, and when you said that, I was like, okay, so yeah, sometimes our language is a little explicit, and I get that.
Yeah.
Like, and I'll sit there and like, okay, fine, we're a little vulgar on that front, but it's like, oh, come on.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're not, no, this isn't 1/900 mountain bears. Like it. Anyway,
that is a venture capital idea that I do not put my rubber stamp on.
Oh, okay. But yeah, no, I like on that front. No, we didn't. I mean,
yeah, but no, this was reported by a viewer.
Yeah. Oh, I wonder if it was the person, because didn't we block someone on Friday?
Probably. Yes,
yeah.
I didn't know. Or was that? No, it was Tuesday that I blocked them.
Well, no, we did block someone on Tuesday. I do know that.
And I blocked. Yeah, we've been getting.
I think it was someone.
Accounts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. But, so that was the fun of like the beginning of the week. Then I had a great experience. I was at Kroger's pedaling around in the holiday section, and one of our listeners came up and let us know they liked the show. Hi. Guys, always come up and talk to us. If you see us out, we don't mind talking. I may be throwing a little off key because it's like, yeah, what?
Hi. Am I being process served, or are you here to kill me?
Yeah. Oh no, you like the show. Great.
Oh. So yeah, he gets a little thrown off, so you may have to tell him your name more than once.
Yes.
Because he's just literally sitting there going, is that, like, are you ready to kill me? Or is there like what you doing with your hands? Like, he's going through that whole process.
Uh-huh.
What?
Actually, what?
Evict the child. Evict the child.
Actually, do we have train tracks available? If so, go drive across them a lot.
Oh, forget that. Someone open up friggin' Six Flags for her and put her on a roller coaster.
That's an idea.
What? It's in that list of things she's not supposed to do because it could induce. It's at this point.
Oh, he just started acting like he wants out. He gonna be one stubborn child.
I'm just saying. Like, are you sure he's acting like he wants to get out, or is he just like bracing in there, like, no! Fashionably late. I'm just saying.
He gonna be stubborn. He done been through a new moon and a full moon eclipse.
Walmart has proved the most effective induction. This is okay. I'll take the vulgarity on this one, but I thought that a trip to Walmart was the best method of birth control. As in, if you didn't think, if you started to think you wanted children, you just went to Walmart and saw other people's. And then you went home and went, no. Like, no.
That's bad. That's bad, but cool.
True.
Yes. Because he's outranking everything. All right. But no, it's been a little different this week. We ran across the news story, and he had to read it to me 4 times, so I'm going to let him take it for you and see if you guys get it any quicker than I did.
Well, see, here's my horrible moment if I didn't have that pulled up. So I'm useful. I wasn't there yet. But yes, Belgium is a fun place in the world, and no, they did not have a monolith sighting. No, not a monolith sighting. Yeah. So you gotta love. Oh, come on. This is a huge story.
Yes.
No, I'm having trouble finding it now because it does not want to accept MEP. It wants to accept MAP. And I'm like, no, I don't need a map. So yeah, it's been a fun story. It just keeps getting more interesting. A Hungarian MEP, which is a diplomat in Belgium, he's a senior member of the Fidesz party, and I'm going to apologize right now. We're probably going to mispronounce a lot of things. Joseph Sajir, basically, like, let's just not bury the lead. Major right-wing party member, very instrumental in rewriting the Constitution there, to explicitly define marriage as between one man and one woman. Busted at a gangbang. Not a woman in sight. Gangbang. Just the fact that news media has used the words gangbang. Because this was 25 people.
Right.
Belgium has one of the strongest. Yeah, that's where we were. One of the strongest. They have a curfew going on. They have a very strong COVID response, is what I'm trying to say. But they have a curfew going on, as well as a limit to gatherings of no more than 4 people, which that was 21 people over it. Yeah. This also included 2 other diplomats.
Right.
Yeah. Like, the story just gets better. He was literally caught red-handed, not sure how, but he ended up with bloody hands because he tried to escape out a window and was found in a ditch.
He went out a first floor window, hauled down to the gutter, and apparently injured himself while he was out there. Now, according to the Independent, the orgy organizer in Brussels has denied anything wrong when his secret sex party was raided by the police, catching 20 men in the act, including the anti-gay MPE, who is a close political ally to right-wing Hungarian President Viktor Orban, who has done numerous things against not only the LGBTQ community, but also the practicing Roman witches. He was also this president was one of the ones that were part of the Romney witches cursing publicly there.
Fun.
Yeah.
Fun. Well, and it gets better because currently he is pissed. And I'm talking about Viktor Orban. Pissed. At the situation and the embarrassment. But the articles just like I'm loving it. I have to say, like, you know, it's been interesting. Because there are officials making statements like there's nothing wrong with attending a sex party, but for the limited gathering restrictions of any variety. So yeah, it's just like, oh, like this story is just one of those that it's like right here. It's here.
Well, and Belgium is one of the places that has like open sex clubs and, more progressive, sex comfortable life.
So a very strong right-wing influence has kind of swooped in, and they're trying to like re-swing the pendulum. And in the midst of all this, they are turning into a shit show.
Right.
Yeah. Like that's, I don't think anyone's had any problem talking. Like, this is one of those situations, I think it's kind of, yeah, everyone's going to throw him under the bus for this one.
Well, not only that, but to back it up.
Okay.
Here's the scene for you guys. We have the lovely bar with apartments above.
Right. Gay bar. This is a gangbang taking place above a gay bar. Continue.
Yeah, the upstairs are apartments, or in most cases, are lovely establishment rooms for rent normally. Beside it is the police office. Lovely, across the alley is the police department.
Now pause for a second. Just 1 second there. So you're organizing again, we're using media terms, a gangbang in the middle of a global pandemic. I just struggle with the where was your brain like moment for this person organizing an event going, yeah, I'm above a gay bar across the street from a police station, and there's going to be diplomats. This should go well.
Right. So the police department gets a report of noise because the bar is closed. Not open.
It should be.
Closed.
Yeah. So I'm just like trying to imagine the scene, and I'm just hearing thumpa music.
Well, it's a very different scene. The Internet actually has the organizers interview. Okay. They get a complaint of loud music. They go to check it. Well, loud noise. Go to investigate it. As they find out that no, it's more than the 4 people that you're supposed to be in close contact in this building. They raid the place because they can clearly see what's going on. It ain't no hiding it here.
Basically.
Someone on the street says, "Oh, I saw a man with bloody hands running down the alley."
Yes. Also naked at that point, wasn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was full on, honey, I'm home. Out the window.
Yes. So that's the situation. He doesn't have ID on him. He doesn't have anything on him.
A backpack. He has a backpack.
No, he didn't have the backpack then.
Oh, he didn't have it.
They take him back to the bar to seek medical attention for his hands and to get his stuff, and then escort him home.
To get his ID.
Yes.
Yeah. So in the midst of all this, as an MEP, he tried to claim diplomatic immunity, which Belgium has been all over pointing out of, no. That is not how that works. See, you can't be charged for things you say or opinions you have, but you got caught in a criminal act.
Right.
And that doesn't apply.
Right. Now, all 20 of the men, also including 2 diplomats, were all fined. They were caught at the party, so they were fined 250 euros. According to the orgy organizer. To be honest, there's nothing, part of the rules was they had to have already had the coronavirus. To be honest, I don't see a problem. There were 2 nurses there, and they didn't think anything was dangerous, he said. Mr. Mancini says it was like any other party. We talk, we have drinks. It's just like at the cafe. The only difference is that in the meantime, we were having sex with each other. I don't see what's wrong with that. We're all adults. Everything was mutual consent. Not content, consent. Consent, which is highly important. And it's like, really? Like any other place, they would not have involved themselves at the time. Meaning if this was next spring, everyone's got their vaccinations. Next summer, everyone's got their vaccinations. Belgium's like, have a great time. Sorry, guys, to bother you. Turn down the music a little.
Which, I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, wouldn't be that big a deal. But, and now I have to question with Ashley whether, was this a setup?
I don't know. I want to know who the other 2 diplomats there was.
I mean, because I think just with the one, I could see a group of guys going, fuck it, 250 euros, fuck it.
Yeah.
Take this dumbass down, fuck it.
Yeah,
I'll pay 250 euros.
So much news is he's a very lovely commentator. And I use the word lovely in the Southern way of bless his heart. He's the one that said, can't wait for Steve Jobs to read the new Hungarian constitution that I'm writing on an iPad.
Yes. Like and also married to a woman.
Who's a judge.
Yeah. It's like, the story just snowballs. And it's just like, oh, that's going to be an ugly divorce.
If he can get divorced, Hungarian divorce laws are very stringent.
Other direction. I'm pretty sure if, your MEP husband who's extremely anti-gay gets busted at a gay orgy, and you're a lawyer, I would think you could pull some strings there and be like, yeah, we'll grant that one.
Well, yeah, if she's able to, first off. Secondly, we don't know the agreement of her relationship. It could have been, don't get caught.
But he did.
It could have been, he may actually end up going to one of the what they call rehabilitation centers.
Oh, yay. Pray the gay away. Fun.
Oh, no, they don't have prenups over there. Honey, they're still working on getting a divorce. A basic divorce, like normal, not necessarily prenup.
Well, but then again, I mean, there are some like universal grounds for divorce, and like regardless of where you are in the world, there are some universal that it's hard to find countries that don't accept that there's just some situations.
Well, no, there's a lot of countries that up until the late 70s did not allow divorce. Ireland, I don't care what he done. He could be in jail for 20 years. You couldn't legally get divorced from his ass. You could live in a different house. You could have a different life. But you could not get divorced from him.
Well, and that also brings up the point. There's always the bed and breakfast divorce.
Yes.
That, he finds somewhere else to live.
Uh-huh.
Functionally divorced.
Right. But this will be interesting to see if, because, and guys, before we get to hecklers, and yes, I will get emails about how dare you talk about them outing somebody. This somebody deserves it.
Well, and that's always been a hot topic conversational point of whether to out or not. In this situation, he kind of unfortunately outed himself.
Mm-hmm.
Like, literally through a window.
Right.
And choices he made.
Right.
But at the same time, even if it was a setup, that's kind of at its heart, you knew everything you were doing was wrong at that point.
Right.
Like, forget and again, we're not talking about like you're having sex. Mm-hmm. We're talking about in the middle of a pandemic, went to a event with more than 4 people, and outside of curfew, you may this was a long rabbit trail rabbit hole to go down.
Right.
He made it pretty clear
and pretty easy to get caught.
Make better choices. Call Lindsey Graham, find out.
Now you leave Miss Ladybug alone.
I'm just saying.
Just saying.
Well, come on. You cannot tell me that if anyone had photos, videos, and hard proof.
Oh, I think they do.
However, that wouldn't have been front page. That would have been front page. Like someone would have cashed that out by now. Because now it doesn't matter. It's going to be a while before that matters.
Jessica, go ahead and pop it in. I'm taking questions anytime.
Absolutely. The worst thing we do is, just finish what we're doing. But no.
Yeah.
It was. So, but no, typically no, not a fan of outing on a personal basis.
Right.
But when you start dealing with public figures and you start dealing with people who are actively working against you in that regard, then I'm a little bit more like, no, you chose to stick your nose in the middle of that one.
Yeah.
Hi, Kathy.
Hi, Kathy. But it's like, and I think we're going to see more of this. I think it'll be interesting to see what happens with this and the changes, because Hungary is one of those countries that is very behind the times. Very, very behind the times.
Well, it's not necessarily that. Each country has its own cultural development towards LGBTQ rights. Mm-hmm. Some are doing a lot better.
Right.
Some are not. It takes time.
Right.
Yeah, still no baby. We're pretty sure the baby is trying not to come out. Just updating Kathy. She missed some things. Yes.
Yes.
Like, talk about a moment to walk in. Like, you even, like, go back and watch later, Kathy. There's some stuff you missed. And it is like soap opera quality content. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's been a fun show so far.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Currently, we've basically suggested, can someone please open a Six Flags for her? So yeah, moving right along. There we go. So Ashley does ask 82696. Do you see an induction or VBAC for me with baby?
I don't. But I'm going to tell you this. It's going to be like, dear God, will you just get here? And then, boom, baby there. Like, you're going to come through fast and quick. You're going to have an easy recovery and a lot of celebration. No, you're going to have natural with my lovely, cocktail of drugs, like they do now. Granted, they don't do the ether, but you'll be good.
Okay.
All right. Let's see what's Jessica got.
All right. So Jessica, June 14th, 89. There is a woman named Tamika. I was wondering when she will leave the situation with a guy named William. She is in the middle of what is going on between him and I.
You know, I hate nosy people. It looks to me like it's going to take about 3.5 weeks.
Oh. Okay, so Kathy's up next.
Okay.
7/28/62. Still over 2 months before I hear from Triz, but we still meet up and become a couple.
Yes, and you need to relax so you don't slow it down more.
Alrighty. Hey, we're clearing everyone quickly tonight.
I know.
Like, oh. So, yeah. Sorry. That wasn't, or I can kind of tell, more importantly, that wasn't what you quite wanted to hear there, Jessica, but yeah. And, ooh, Kathy is like, ouch. Yeah, did we not? Yeah, oh, we forgot to give the, hi, and Aeson is here. Please make sure you have your burn cream ready. It's better in 2019 when we had to, or seriously considered investing in Kleenex because you made everyone cry. Oh, yay. Well, good news, bad news from Emily. And hello, Emily. So Grumpy Tank's family on his mom's side have mostly tested negative from COVID, and it's contained.
Yay.
Bad news, his family on his dad's side are all in quarantine because his sister's boyfriend caught it, and he exposed everyone, including his mother, who passed away from it in Wood County.
Oh,
dear. That is absolutely terrible. I don't really call that a good news, bad news situation. Sorry. That's like, but very good news. No one in the Grumpy Tank Mott house have been anywhere near either side. So they're safe.
Well, I'm glad that they're safe. Please continue to take precautions. This is just a more confirming. You got to be careful, guys. We're right there. We've got less than 6 months to where you can all get a lovely vaccine and go back to somewhat normal lives.
Well, current timelines, but yeah, we're hopeful now. So yeah, and hopefully that will get us back to normal, or at least a lot more like normal.
Yeah, I'm liking Moderna's formula better than I am liking Pfizer's.
Okay.
Moderna's formula is more what your body is used to when it comes to a vaccine. It's a one shot and you're done. Pfizer's is a 2-shot method with a lot of complications and looks more like the old polio vaccine.
Yeah, Emily, you've definitely nailed that one. It's more like a not as bad news, terrible news. It's like, yeah, it's not really good news, bad news.
Right.
So yeah.
Yep. And Ashley, are you reading our checklist tonight? The UK has already approved the vaccine and they have began administering it to government officials.
Awesome.
Yes.
Well, and that was kind of the roadblock we're in right now. Is it has apparently been a very long time since, or if ever, the FDA has done an emergency.
Polio.
Yeah. It's been a very long time then since the FDA has done an emergency clearance for a medication. So, and when you're going that far back to polio, you're talking that's generational,
right.
like more than one generation of people since that occurred.
Right.
So yeah. In a lot of situations, I think it is continuity of government in which why government officials would receive that first. So basically it would be, hit your super VIPs, then start knocking out your healthcare. Then moving towards high risk and essential workers, as in high risk individuals and essential workers, and then finally getting into the rest of the population.
Right. The justification, and this way it's always been in England, is your governmental officials and your Army and Navy get administered medications first. One, because it gives them a double test. It's easier to lose, a commoner than it is to lose the people.
What?
It's easier for them to, inoculate the army.
Mm-hmm.
And then if the drug goes wrong, well, they can see it immediately.
Okay. Sorry, I was a little confused the way you worded it. A commoner versus the people.
Well, a commoner was a representative there in the House of Lords and Commons. Yeah, they have a nice, lovely governmental structure that technically puts the government at risk most for anything wild.
Yeah. Well, but then there's also the fact that it does create a leadership moment of, even your representatives. Like they're going ahead and doing this. So it does create a role model situation.
Right. And it makes a lot of sense the way they've done it. They looked at the science, they approved it. They've got their own Oxford diagnosis, vaccine. They're moving forward with that. But they're more ready. Of course, they have been more ready. They're more stringent in the restrictions over there. I mean, can you imagine? Let me just take a look here at the current conversion rate.
Oh, and then you have to factor in and that brings up a question, I guess, too. Is how much is also accurate reporting of numbers? Like, how accurate is the rest of the world? Because what we're seeing here is we have one group that is mostly accurate, and then each state's kind of playing with the numbers to varying degrees. Some states not as much, other states woo, buddy.
Okay.
Can you fudge that a little more?
Yeah, going back to our first story. Can you imagine the uproar if someone got a fine of $303 for not wearing a mask and 8 cents for not wearing a mask in a store?
Yeah. Absolutely.
That's the Belgian fine that they're going to have to pay.
Yeah. Well, converted to US dollars.
Correct.
But yeah, no, it's a lot going on.
Right.
It really is, and a lot of it is centered around trying to figure out, the best mix that's going to, at this point, like how much honey versus, or how much carrot versus how much stick. Sorry, I've mixed my metaphors in my head. But how much carrot, how much stick do you need to use?
Right. Well, they have the power. In every health department manual, they have the power to enter a building, they have a power to lock a building, they have a power to quarantine a building.
Well, and and right here, that's kind of our problem in the U.S. is the best we've got is, could you just use common decency and common respect? Which hasn't really been working. And that brings up another article from this week is Virginia, one county. And I'm gonna forget the name of the county.
Shamrock?
It's right here in my head.
Shamrock?
No. Campbell County. That's what I'm trying to think of.
No common word.
Well, yeah, Virginia is a commonwealth. But no, their county board of directors or board of supervisors has passed a resolution that basically declares that they support the First and Second Amendments, that they are, it's like an omnibus of like 2020. Part one is about, not supporting any organization that attempts to enforce a mask mandate or any other fines or penalties, criminal enforcement related to COVID-19. And part of it is also about, other stupid things. So yeah, that passed. The upside is it's a mostly symbolic gesture. They really don't have any authority to legislate over. Because this applied to like law enforcement, etc. Fortunately, there is no actual ability. It's just more of a, symbolic.
Right. But I think that should be brought up every election, that those supervisors put above their responsibility to their county.
And basically in the middle of, or at the point in the meeting in which this was brought up, a large number of those in attendance removed their mask, showing their solidarity with this statement. Yeah, it's great. Meanwhile, that board of directors has also said that they are, because this is a government function, that they just can't limit the number of people that can attend.
Yes, they can.
Yeah.
They do it all the time. And this is a board that needs to be removed.
Well, it's sounding like it's going to be an area if they haven't been hit hard already.
Wow. Numbers are exceeding where they were in 1918, 1919. Now, y'all guys remember that the real massive deaths and stuff started occurring in the winter.
Oh, Guilford County and Greensboro, North Carolina, basically the metro area of Greensboro or the Piedmont Triad, is high right now. It's 8% last Ashley checked. Oh my goodness, girl.
Well, we had a meeting with Super Doctor this week. And,
telehealth.
Telehealth, we zoomed him in. And it was a good meeting, but, he made sure, because I checked up like, can I get out of here?
And he's like, no.
No. When's the hope of me getting out of here?
Maybe yeah, that's what we call our GP is Super Doc.
Yeah.
Because he really is awesome. He is one of the best doctors, if not the best doctor I think either one of us have ever had.
Right.
Like he really is awesome. Because he listens. He's still young enough to like hear people. And as a general personality, I think he really tries to hear people.
Well, not only that, but he's super dark because I interviewed 53 different doctors. My insurance company interviewed more than that.
Yeah. Well, no, you didn't do 53. You did a good number, but yeah, they ended up having to go through a big list in order to find you a doctor who even wanted to get near your file.
Yes.
Because unfortunately, where you have a back injury or multiple back injuries, yeah, welcome to West Virginia and the opioid epidemic. Every doctor hears the screaming words of pain management patient and goes, no.
No.
No, I'm not going to deal with this.
Well, not only that, but I'm a difficult patient. I'm problematic. I look at you and go, do I really need that? What's the side effects of that? How long has it been on the market? I want nothing on the market that hasn't been tested. Have we reviewed John Hopkins' study of the medication? And if any of those are no, I tell them, no, thank you. Find another medicine.
Yeah, and he is very cooperative with that. Yeah. He's like, okay, got it.
Yeah, he got it a long time ago. We don't play with my meds. We don't change my meds. I don't care what your pharmacy salesman says. I have meds from the 1950s, and we are happy with them.
Well, and I would say that's also a bonus is he doesn't seem to be really heavily influenced / swayed by, sales reps.
Right.
Like, I think he goes, okay, thanks for the pens, and, lunch was great. I'm going to treat my patients now.
Yeah.
Like he's really not. Plus, I think it helps that he is in a rural area. So he's not really high on the target list. He's not really got that big of a patient load or a very, high.
He's got a big patient load because he took over that whole practice after everyone ran out of West Virginia.
Well, it wasn't that they ran out of the area. Like, this was the stupid of that doctor's office is they had one doctor's office, they had multiple providers there, and then they moved the providers and brought in like a couple of people or left a couple of people and moved a massive chunk of the staff to this new office they built. And thought the patients would stay, but now the patients drive to the new office to see their provider. So I give them credit. They apparently have a really good knack for picking up good providers.
Right.
Who did want to move to this larger area and, instead of the backwoods they were in. Because it's not even an easy doctor's office to find, too. It is not somewhere major.
Right.
Like it's over the river, through the woods, to get there. So yeah, he came in and it turned into a weird split. Some people were still going there because that was their doctor's office, and a lot of people just followed.
Yep.
So it turned into a weird split and kind of screwed up their plan.
Right. But it also made it, I'm sorry, he was good in medical school. Like I got him as a doctor when he was a resident, second year resident. And he's good. He hasn't pissed me off. I haven't cursed him out yet. And he's not the type to go, oh, well, let me send you to this specialist. I ain't got time for that. I got time for one appointment. I want one doctor, handle the crap, do your stuff. If you don't know it, go research it and come back.
Well, but true, but not exactly. He's also of the ability that he goes, okay, I can handle a large range of things. But when he says, hey, I'm going to refer you out, we don't even question it because, like, yeah, okay. Like, even we're sitting there going, yeah, probably a little above what you're comfortable with. Like, you know, that's not anywhere near what you need to be doing anyway. But yeah, thanks for the referral. Awesome. And I will say, like, 80% of his referrals have been good. The only bad one was my spine surgeon, and I'm still like, like, please don't.
Well, but at the same time, yeah, Dr. Anal Linkage.
Yeah, that's her name for him.
Why? I can see why you were referred to him if we look at his medical qualifications.
Well, I think I understand why I was sent to that practice. I think where we got screwed was in their assignment.
Right.
Like, unfortunately, that office isn't you don't get a direct referral. You got a referral to their clinic as a whole. And then as a team, they sorted out who got who.
Right.
And I think I just had bad luck of the draw.
Well, no, he was actually the best one in the practice. He is actually one that was a published physician. The rest of them are idiots.
Oh, it gets worse.
Yes. Remember Asian chick?
Oh, don't remind me.
Okay.
Yeah, she was randomly rude in a hallway. But no, that was like, what the hell? Like, what is your problem? Like, really? Come on, just keep going. Just walk. Right. Like, that's all you had to do. Like, don't be hateful. Don't be a dick. Just keep walking. But yeah, no. But no, I mean, he's gotten better though. I will say the last visit was fairly decent. Like, it seems like I will say this is one doctor I think the pandemic has helped.
Slow him down.
And that's a horrible thing to say, or like to try to find the silver lining in all this. I think this is one doctor who, one, got a reality check on his life importance. Because he's not a critical care physician. He's in the elective surgery category. And while he is capable of doing really great work, I think he also found out his importance in terms of risk my life to see you with his patients. And found out that, no, I'm not high priority there either.
Right.
And I think it humanized him a little, is that he got a little more friendly. He got a little more, okay, one, I think he also has had his caseload diminish a little. So he has time. But I think it also kind of, smacked him upside the head.
Right.
So, yeah, that unfortunately, yeah, you can be the world's greatest surgeon, but in a pandemic, you are flipping useless unless you want to go play over in the ER or the ICU.
Yeah.
No, you don't want to do that? That sounds like a bad choice. Yeah, then no, you're not the center of the universe. Thanks. Have a great day.
Well, we can always send him to New York, who's calling up retired doctors and nurses and pulling them back into service.
So, yeah, that's what I'm saying is I think he got a little more human. He's starting to actually, like, have a personality and actually pay attention and listen and hear. And, like, he even caught the fact, finally, that, this is not a short trip for me to go see him.
Right.
Which he was really, his office, granted his office hasn't improved, but he even hadn't really caught on to the fact that, like, this is a massive drive for me to go see my spine surgeon.
Right.
Like, this is not a cute little, like, I'm going across town. And I'll be home. No, this is an all-day process to go see you. It is 156 miles up. It is 156 miles back.
Right.
It is a 312-mile round trip. Smack in the middle of the day. Please quit trying to schedule me for 8 a.m. Because you don't even want to know what that entails. house. That either means I have to leave here around 4 a.m. or I have to get a hotel room and go up the day before. So you're totally screwing my life here. But no, he seems to finally get it. He's starting to listen. Like, he's starting to think.
Yeah.
You know, like, he's rethinking his practice. He's starting to really seem like he's paying attention to, like, maybe this wasn't a necessary visit.
Yeah.
Maybe I could have done this, and you know, I probably should have done this instead. And so, okay, well, next time we will do that.
Right.
You know, I'll send you for a, you know, because this is the thing with WVU, and you told me this, and I didn't believe it in the beginning, but I've seen it. Like, I've seen it now. WVU is very much only believes WVU. Right. As in, if you're going to have X-rays, MRIs, CTs, whatever testing, blood work, yada, 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 they are very locked into the idea that you have to use their facilities so that they can trust the result.
Right.
At least up to 2020. Now in 2020, they're starting, I think, to reevaluate that. Like, maybe that was more hype than reality. So, oh yeah, it's a hassle, believe me.
Well, I can see why, though, because laboratory testing, imaging can get screwed up. I mean, I've seen some of my MRIs. It's like, did they clean the lens?
Well, but it's kind of like we had them, like even I joked with him as, yeah, you know, when we do the X-ray, he's like, what's the closest hospital? Is that, you know, this facility? And I said, well, technically, there's one closer to the house if you trust those portable X-ray units, the little robot on wheels with the, you know, remote control. And he's like, yeah, no, we're sending you to a real hospital. Yeah. So we had fun with that.
Right.
But yeah, because that is our closest hospital is kind of like an overglorified Band-Aid station.
And
their
stabilization center.
Yeah.
They're not even trauma 1.
Yeah, no. Like, this is just like, we're gonna like shock you a couple of times before our play school defibrillator is dead. Like, that's all we got.
Right.
And then send you quickly on your way. Like, I think the biggest part of that hospital is probably a helipad.
Yeah, there's 2 of them. There's one on the roof and there's one in the back 40.
Yeah, so, you know, 2 helipads, no waiting, is kind of where they're at. Like, they just don't even. But no, they literally do. Their X-ray unit is not a thing that you walk down to. Like, you don't go through a series of doors to get to their X-ray machine. They bring it to you. It's a cute little robot. Like, if you ever watched, what was that stupid program? And you're not going to be able to help me. It was the concierge medicine thing that was on USA for a while.
I know the show.
Yeah.
It was called Concierge.
No, it wasn't. I don't think so. I don't know. Anyway, not really that important, but no, it's like that. It's like the unit they roll out of the SUV and they're like, here you go. Yeah.
Royal Pains.
Huh?
Royal Pains.
Royal Pains. There we go. Yeah, I knew it wasn't Burn Notice. Like, no, that's a different show. That's also awesome. But yeah.
But Emily, SuperDoc is within that same network.
Yeah. But no, but that's what I mean. Like, Emily knows it, like, firsthand. I'm sure that everything they give you is within the WVU system. Like, they want all your blood work, all your X-rays, all your stuff. Like, up to 2020, they wanted everything to stay in network. Like, we're not using physical therapy outside this network. We ain't doing shit unless you stay in network. Yep. And then, like, that's cute. You went to a hospital and you got blood work. That's cute. run it through the shredder, we're going to repeat that. You know, because they don't know what they're doing, was their mentality.
And I think still is a lot of their mentality.
No, he seemed a lot more open to the idea that other, you know, facilities could give him the same information.
Well, good.
That,
well, you know, WVU in Summersville, you can run over there.
Well, that too.
Yep.
But no, like his whole point being, though, is that we really could have handled this last visit and my future visit both with go send me for an x-ray anywhere I want to go do it. He just needs to review it and then do a telehealth and be like, thumbs up, thumbs down.
Yep. Emily, if he's looking for a good doctor that I think will get along with him, message me.
Yeah. Yeah, we will definitely refer him out. He's fun. He's a trip.
And he's in your area.
And we could also just call him Giggles.
Yeah.
He's fun. He's got a really fun personality.
He is. He has a really fun personality. He's a good doctor. He knows his shit. And he knows his old shit as well as his new shit.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely. So, yeah.
So you found an article during the same time as I was renegotiating a contract.
Oh, okay. Which article was that? Remind me.
The work from home one.
Oh, the big one. So, okay, guys, if you're following Mountain Bear's Facebook group, or Mountain Book, our page is what I'm trying to say.
Page.
Get the words out. I posted an article. It is a super long read. Like, wow, is it a long read? Like, I've seen Wikipedia entries that are like way shorter on way more complicated issues. This has to do with Arise. Arise is not a household name company. They are not Procter & Gamble. They are not Google. They're not a company you should necessarily recognize. However, you might if you work from home, if you've been looking at work from home opportunities. And one of them is as a call center agent. Work from home call center agent. So, yes. Oh, Ashley works through them. Oh, we actually have someone who works from them. So, okay. So without getting Ashley in trouble, because yeah, there's a lot of things there that go with Arise. They're an interesting setup. There have actually been called an elaborate construct by a judge that is effectively walking very thinly the line between independent contractor and employee through some very elaborate choices. They have their own vocabulary to describe anyone and everything in the company. Words specifically meant to avoid any indication that their agents are anything but independent contractors. They also take on a little bit of the multi-level marketing formula of giving bonuses to recruit other agents. They also create layered independent businesses between them and, a final agent. A lot of it is built around pay-to-play training. And some very ugly and hefty abuses of fees and, a platform fee, etc. So there's a lot of indication that there are some, or there are only a few people that find this successful as a gig economy opportunity. And again, we're trying to play with a little bit of their vocabulary here. to make sure, that because they would not classify any of these agents as employed by them because but multiple times over, they have effectively gotten into a situation where they are repeatedly found to be creating an employee-employer relationship because it ticks off all the boxes. There are certain states they will not bring agents in from because the employee protections and the designation between employee-employer is very, very tight. They don't have as much wiggle room. Then there's their whole non-disclosure setup, as well as binding arbitration, which they've gone round and round for, and they were almost hit with a very bad situation, but not for the election of Donald Trump. Were almost hit with a very bad situation in which they could have potentially had to reclassify every single one of their agents as an employee.
Right.
Yeah. Which is fun. Like, that's a whole lot. It's a big article. There's a lot more to it than that. There's a lot of like individual people experience based on binding arbitration records. It really does start to take on a really dark shadow.
Right.
Yes, it would flip shit sideways for them, to quote Ashley. Yeah, it would. It would horribly have issues there. Some people are making money there. I think some of their earlier agents are like doing a lot better than newer agents being brought in. But because it's one of those icky situations, in my view, they do not pay for training time. You have to pay for your training classes to work for individual clients. So you're effectively sitting there. When you call into some businesses, you're talking to a work from home, non-employee who does not get holidays, who has effectively paid to talk to you.
Right.
And they've paid quite dearly because in a lot of these instances, there's situations where people get trained and then only get a few hours work. So by the time all this works out, they may work 50 some hours and get, $100,
Right.
which is ridiculous. Yeah. And Ashley brings up a good point. And this is kind of where I go, this is like the multi-level marketing, which could also be called a pyramid scheme, but for legal definitions between those two words that can get us in a horrible litigious situation. So we're going to call it multi-level marketing, is that you're basically doing a pay-to-play. And there's a potential, if you put enough money in, you're going to earn money. But striking that balance can be a real problem. And they highly, if this doesn't ring the multi-level marketing bell for you, they highly seek people who are disabled, people of color. They work very strongly with church organizations or faith-based organizations to recruit. Again, these are like the big red flags, flashing lights. Like a lot of times you end up with these being vulnerable communities that they're going after. So yeah, your take.
It probably depends on, where your hub is. Who your hub is, where your hub is, on how, and this is a problem that occurs when you get companies like this that teeter that line of the pay-to-play system, or you got to pay for classes that have specific technology. And I know this model. I've seen this model before, but at the same time, this model doesn't always work, and it's going to gain some attention. Ashley brought up the California bill. I am working with someone to come in as a guest and speak on it. As soon as I get a memo drawn together, so maybe we can get her to come in and talk about that and some other things in our industry. But what I read from the article was this company is doing something that a lot of them have never done before. They will hire somebody. They will put them through the training that they have to pay for, work them for 2 weeks, and then terminate the contract.
Well, but then there's also the fact that there are people who are, basically this, because we drew some parallels with like the networks you work for. And especially in the past of, having to get certified as a tarot reader and having to be certified as on down the line.
That certification that everyone kind of looks at, that was a $3,000 certification.
But there's also, like, here's the big difference, though, is that with Arise, and what was pointed out, is you're not just paying to take a course and have an instructor that's going to give you some extra attention here. And go, all right, we're going to get you there. We're going to get you there. You pass or fail a test. And it could be the very first test in what they call a wave of this course, of this training to work with this client. You could fail that first test. You don't get your money back. You don't get any help. You're just out.
Right.
You're not going to work for that client. You're done.
Right.
Like, go apply for others.
And it's non-transferable. Like my certifications, the stuff that I've went through, I can take that to any other network.
Exactly. Like, because effectively they're being trained to work for specific clients.
Right.
Such as Intuit or Airbnb or Disney, as, extended call center employees. That's effectively it. But it's just, it's very frustrating. It's one of those, I understand their model. I can see the validity of it in some circumstances.
Right.
That, for instance, what you've gone through to get to where you are working for a network. I understand that. That was a fixed program in which you were encouraged to succeed. Like, how do we have to make this work for you? But
this was pre-click and call. That old system, you had a manager, your manager had a manager, you had the hope of being a manager, you flew out every quarter to do conferences, we done trainings, you came in with some skills, we taught you others.
Oh, now, Ashley, be careful using that word trainer. They're facilitators. Like, the article made that clear, is that this is part of that specialized vocabulary. You don't have supervisors. You don't have trainers. They're not your employer. There is a whole vocabulary for things that already had words. Ashley goes, my bad. Yeah.
But, the old network system are much different than the ones we're currently on. The ones we're currently on, and I refuse to work for what has now become the old network systems. But when this article popped up, I was looking at renegotiating a contract with one of my suppliers, vendors, networks, whatever you want to call them. And they proposed a 60-40 split. 60% to them. Well, he wanted 72, and I'm like, no, I won't do that.
Yeah. Well, which the upside is, unlike, I'm sure, many of the other not employees, many other independent contractors working for them, you've been with them long enough to actually have some negotiation ability. Like your name is bigger. I'm sure there are many that are stuck with worse arrangements or stuck with that one that, this is take it or leave it. So yeah.
Yeah. But that is the difference in independent contracting. Is you negotiate your price. You set your rate. The networks I work for, I set my rates. They may have minimums, like you have to charge $3.99 or above or whatever, but I set my rates. And I tell them point blank, no, I'm not paying you 72%. You can keep your app. That's cute. My phone's busy enough. Thank you.
Yeah. But now the other thing that got me with that article, just to talk about like the inside working of a business of a call center environment that deals with customers, was like the level of detail, and level of control, but the level of specification that the individual companies could have as to and these are immediate termination events, or one warning and then a termination events, regarding the frequency of, even if a consumer has a legitimate complaint, the frequency in which the average number of calls that you can give a credit to, the average value of that credit, the amount of non-talk time, they literally control everything about that call you could possibly control is available to that client to determine their agents, and how quickly their agents can be terminated.
Right.
For non-talk time, minimal hold time, and the fact that all of as a non-employee of that company, a lot of the things you're calling in to ask about, if it involves direct interaction to the company, that agent can be severely penalized for the time it takes to get a real person on the phone for you. And that's if you're one of the lucky customers that can be transferred, because you're not going to screw up their transfer rate. Because a lot of this arrangement is about no transfers. There is a limit to how many customers you can transfer. And some of those rates are very low. So, on a consumer side, on a customer side of businesses, what this works out to is, like, for instance, you may call in with a legitimate complaint. You may call in and absolutely be due a service credit. You may call in and you need additional help. And the agent that you are getting is potentially facing termination if they give you that legitimate, or if they legitimately give you a credit, if they transfer your call. You start to wonder, how big is a rise? Because I don't know if anyone else has noticed, but over the last decade or so, a lot of things make sense now. A lot of things make sense that I personally kept running into situations where I felt like the person I'm talking to on this phone gets my problem 100% and is 100% like, yep, you're not wrong, but I can't help you. My hands are tied.
Right. And see, I go over people's head and call the corporate office directly.
Oh, absolutely. Well, but that's if you can, because I've run into, I've seen that happen as well, working on the debt collection side. Is that we at one point did a test to see if we could offshore our call center employees. Granted, the company explained it to everyone as we were testing extended capacity, which was totally not what happened. It was actually to see if they could get rid of the call center employees. Side note, anyone watching this that work, at that company, yeah, that's the truth bomb. They were trying to get rid of you. So anyway, moving right along. Thankfully the test was horrible and it did horrible things, but we could, with our phone system, actually use our same inbound number and just route those calls. Moreover, the company that was testing, because a lot of what we did was outbound calling, because collections, it's outbound, don't have a whole lot of call-ins. Like most people are like getting the message, hi, I need to talk to you about an important business matter. Please call me back at blah, 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 blah. Yeah, no one ever calls back. Next to no one calls back. It's a short list. But no, we could do it transparently, or should have been able to. The problem we ran into, which was slightly hilarious, is they actually managed in this test to crash our phone system. Because what happened was the auto dialer they were using, they went warp speed on. They cranked it to maximum. Not only did they manage to crash their call center, they managed to crash our call center. Yeah, it was fun. In addition to, they totally screwed up in their outbound calling, because fun thing with auto dialers, in case you've ever wondered, if you've ever been like, let's say 180 days or so late on a bill, or you've been in a situation where you just left the hospital and you get a call from a hospital employee, I'm putting air quotes for anyone not watching, on
the Mountain Bears page, Ashley.
Yes. But no, if you've ever gotten a call the minute you get out of the hospital about setting up a payment arrangement, checking your insurance, and, advised about care credit and things like that, more than likely what you're actually talking to, dirty secret, is a call center employee, a third-party collections agency, that has been retained by that hospital. And they will call themselves an extended business office. You're talking to a collections agent. That's who this is called soft collections. This is typically employed by medical facilities that are in a community that is typically low insurance carrying rate, and higher poverty. So we could outbound call and say we are ABC Hospital. We could outbound call and say we're XYZ Hospital. Unfortunately, no matter how much we had told this particular offshore call center that you have to be very, very careful with this, they started outbound dialing in that test as our collection agency name.
Yeah.
You want to talk about ticked off clients. Oh, it was ugly.
It was very ugly.
But yes, Ashley, it is in the Mountain Bears, on the Mountain Bears page. It's a ProPublica article. And it's a really long read, but it's really, really good. Like, it really delves into it. It's old school, like Time magazine reporting level. It is absolutely amazing. But yes. Oh no, what have you found to do?
No, I'm looking up the article so that I can set it out, because I'm not seeing it in the feed either. And it was there.
It was supposed to be there.
I know.
I swear I shared it.
I know. I'm going to double check. We do have multiple pages running.
I did it.
Well, I get that.
Oh, maybe I didn't. I shared the MEP article. I guess I didn't. I am so sorry.
Yeah.
Where did I don't know where I shared it then. Oops. So yeah. Let me see what I can. Did you find it?
I'm locating.
Okay. So yeah.
But
All right, got it.
Next Raoul the Bear article.
So sending you the link.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. Should have it now.
I do. Thank you.
Yeah. And for those of you who just want to find it later, it's ProPublica.org. And the article title is Meet the Customer Service Reps for Disney and Airbnb Who Have to Pay to Talk to You. The quick summary is Arise Virtual Solutions, part of the secretive world of work-at-home customer service, helps large corporations shed costs at the expense of workers. Now the pandemic is creating a boom in the industry. There we go. Yay, so you can share.
Yeah, I can share. But getting a better link, because that was a Facebook Connect link and it can be a problem.
Ew, yeah, that's ugly.
Yeah. All right, this one's just as ugly, but better. There you go. Going out to all the socials.
Hey. Oh, gosh. Yes, it did.
Yeah, because it broadcasts to all our streams.
Yes, and it just slammed the comment feed for the video.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I'm sorry, that was funny. Oh yeah. So Kathy talks about when I had my second child, I brought my own Band-Aids, gauze, etc. I paid cash for all my children. I got that call and I explained in such long detail that they actually lowered it more than I knew they should have. Even if I brought my own thermometer and tongue depressor. Yeah, no. I understand that. Just a side note, I was technically a finance baby. Well, Dad was between jobs, and as Mom understood it, I was not going to be immediately covered. My birth was not going to be covered by the company my father just so happened to find work with right before I was born. So she went to the hospital, basically started a payment arrangement. I was a layaway baby.
Yeah.
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 There are lots of fun words for it. I've had fun with that story my whole life. But what actually ended up happening is the insurance for that employer actually did go ahead and take me. Let them enroll me as a child. Covered all of the expenses. And Mom actually got a refund of her layaway plan.
Well, Mika has a question. Let's take that, and then I want to talk about the tree.
Okie dokie. Well, let me go find Mika's question somewhere in the list of links.
1101.
Okay, getting there. All right, Mika 22082. I'm starting to talk to a guy friend a little more, and I was just wondering if you had any advice. I'm always worried about liking someone and then getting hurt, etc. And my second question is, should I tell my manager and supervisor that I would like to work for my old team again, or will they look down on me for that?
I think you should tell them you want to work for your old team, but I would wait till the quarter is over. That way numbers aren't messed up and they aren't so crunchy about it. And my advice about talking to guys is have fun with it. Don't get serious. Let them prove that they want to be serious.
There you go.
So I was scrolling my Facebook and I saw a post that just flew through me.
Okay. I'm a little lost.
The Christmas tree at the college on display.
Oh, that Christmas tree. Yeah. Marietta College.
Yes.
Yeah, for Marietta College. Like their office of diversity and inclusion, like Ohio needs to learn how to southernly say bless your heart, because that's the best thing you need to be saying to that entire office right now is bless your heart.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, it was a mess. It's a hot mess.
It's a hot, hot mess.
Yes, the All Lives Matter tree. Yeah.
Now, what they've done, this is the level of stupid our tax dollars is paying for. They put up a tree during the Christmas, the different organizations sponsor these trees and light shows in the park.
Mm-hmm.
They put up a tree and they created ornaments. And on one side of the ornament, it would say like Black Lives Matter, and you flip it over, and it would say All Lives Matter.
No, it said White Lives Matter.
Right.
Yeah. So it wasn't, it was literally like inversions. So like, LGBTQ lives matter, straight lives matter, all the way through, all across that tree.
Yeah.
Pretty little ornaments just all over that tree, sponsored by Marietta College Office of Diversity and Inclusion. Oh, the cringe, the cringe, the cringe, the cringe.
And the ornaments didn't rotate so that you could see them. Of course, all through this park is do not touch the displays. Do not touch the displays. Do not touch the displays.
Yeah. 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 So yeah, Ashley, we're there. It's like I get the idea that they were having, but no, it was bad. It's like no, don't do that.
And then we tried to defend it.
Yeah, that it wasn't bad enough that like the local population as well as the college population were all having a moment of like, are you flipping insane? They doubled down on it and they were like, no, it's a good thing. See?
And we included 26 of these and 26 of these and 26 of these angels on the tree too.
Yes, because it literally did have like, cream colored angels and white colored angels and, brown colored angels and black colored angels. And yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, you didn't make it better.
You just dug yourself a grave. And it took people calling the colleges, emailing the colleges, phoning the colleges, going, what are you doing here? Mm-hmm. You have a tree that says White Lives Matter, Straight Lives Matter, Able Lives Matter.
Oh, yeah, it was very ableist.
Yeah.
Yeah. Disabled Lives Matter, Able Lives Matter.
Right.
It like every group, any group. I'm sure somewhere on that tree was Men's Lives Matter, Women's Lives Matter. I wonder, was there a rapist lives matter, rape victims lives matter? Like that was like that's the only way it could have gotten worse.
Oh, it got worse. There was other ones that I wasn't shown in the pictures, but at the same time, I'm like, what the heck? Because we do a lot of business in Marietta. We do a lot of work with the college. We've done a lot of work with other organizations in the area that have college kids involved. And I'm like, are you kidding me?
Well,
was this a good idea?
Well, and I think it also had Police Lives Matter and something else. Black Lives Matter, Police Lives Matter. Yeah. It went all the way through. Like it is the 2020 tree. That's what it is. It's so, and I kind of get where someone's brain was at, but it's one of those like, how did you get that out of the Office of Diversity and Inclusion without someone in that room going, I see what you're trying to do there, but no. But no. Like, this is not going to go well. This doesn't say what you want it to. This is going to be read as all lives matter. This is going to turn right back around on you.
Well, it was not even turning because you can't touch the tree. So if the all lives matter one is stuck out, that's the one that everyone sees. Like, hello here.
Oh, yeah, I went there, Kathy. I went there. I think she said that right in response to my, rapist lives matter, rape victims lives matter.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was that level of cringe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, when you really stop and think about it, it is that level of cringe when you say those things. So yeah.
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 But how does this come out of an office that is built for diversity? And then you went digging and went, yeah, it's the Office of Diversity, but they haven't been active since 2018.
Effectively, it seemed like they had a really good, well-led, fully functional with it Office of Diversity and Inclusion. Their director that had created that success left for Nebraska Lincoln. And then it's kind of like, what happened there?
Right.
Did they just appoint some random faculty member and go, hey, you go lead that? And they went, okay, whatever. You know, it's a token position, just ride it out till retirement.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because here's facts. That is not the place for a political tree.
Well, it's not even that. It's like, I could understand if you wanted to do a symbolic tree, and even the angels would have been fine. But if you just wanted to focus on like individual oppressed groups, that's a tree from the Office of Diversity Inclusion. Because the general theory with the Office of Diversity and Inclusion is, you have a marginalized group, you have an underrepresented group, you have an oppressed group, or a group that otherwise struggles within this idea that you are straight male, white, cis, able-bodied person. Because if you are all those things and you are not in poverty, your life's pretty flippin' sweet.
Right.
You don't need a lot of help there. I mean, no one is sitting here as a charitable organization thinking Jeff Bezos needs a fruit basket. Not happening. Not happening. No. Life's pretty flippin' sweet for Jeff Bezos. Really flippin' sweet.
Right. All right. So finally, after the president comes out, after he got hit heavily, because I'm quite sure he's, the president president of Marietta College is kind of busy, or should be, trying to figure out how to keep his students safe, run programs, fight for government funding, figure out, how many students he could lose during this pandemic. He actually posted a letter, and I've sent it to you in Messenger so you can be nice and read the corporate speak of, we fucked up.
Well, yeah, it's what it amounts to. It's a PR. Yeah. So dear Marietta College family, let me start by thanking you for your comments, emails, and phone calls regarding the college's involvement in the 2020 Holiday Tree Walk in Muskegum Park in downtown Marietta. The Office of Diversity and Inclusion had hoped to actively engage visitors in our community through this tree and its ornaments in a deeper and more meaningful conversation about equality and the value of everyone, and most especially those who are marginalized or underrepresented individuals. Clearly, we missed the mark in choosing this medium to have a serious discussion about inclusivity, and we apologize. We have decided to remove the tree from the display. We are an educational institution And like our students, we are always learning. We are supportive of what our colleagues in diversity and inclusion were trying to accomplish, and we continue to encourage them to look for ways to ignite courageous conversations on campus, in our community, and beyond. These conversations are not easy and can make us uncomfortable, but they are of great importance. I hope you will join us by being an active and productive participant by sharing what you are doing in your daily lives and in your workplace to help your community create a diverse, equitable, and welcoming environment for people who face discrimination. Hopefully, you will have a chance over the holidays to volunteer in your own community and make it better. Throughout the year, we are actively engaged in difficult conversations and already had programming for faculty and staff about racial bias scheduled for January. We are committed to engaging everyone on campus about diversity and inclusion throughout 2021. We appreciate your continued support of Marietta College. Sincerely, Bill Rudd, President, Marietta College. Okay, so converting that. One, apparently there were a shit ton of ticked off faculty and a large call from the community, especially of the college, for inclusivity training. There was also a large number of ticked off alumni who threatened to pull their donations. Yeah. He has had a shitstorm hit him.
Right.
That's what that is.
Right.
Yeah, that's the apology. Yeah, that's the apology. There's no apology.
Well, the apology is, oh crap, we've got to do training now. Okay, how can we clean up this PR mess?
Yeah.
And what I wish they had done, and if they had had two brain cells stuck together, they would have, is took and decorated a tree and had angels from around the world. Angels in wheelchairs, angels, different angels in different situations, angels with a cane, angels in different skin tones, two angels together kissing, both looking male, female, angels together in a choir in different areas.
Yes.
That would have been better.
Well, that would have at least been a inclusivity moment.
Yeah.
And would have actually shown diversity.
Yeah.
Instead, what they did was treat it like it is a 50-50 coin toss, which it is not. Right. It is not. It's
they didn't. They were, according to the original story, that you were supposed to flip the ornament. Two sides of a coin bullcrap. Problem being is no one is supposed to touch the tree. So they didn't supply one of those lovely rotating things that rotate the ornament.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, but even then, that still looks at it's the wrong approach.
Yes.
Like it's the wrong approach. It kind of goes back to, if you've seen the image, and I know we've shared it, at least on Psychic Coffee, of the, like, what people think, can't even get the words right, equality is. Where every kid gets a box, but they're all kids of varying heights trying to see over a fence. And there's already the kid that can see over the fence. Like, doesn't need any help, standing on the ground, can see over the fence. Then there's the slightly shorter kid who's like, the fence is here. And the way they set it up is, okay, the kid that could already see over the fence can now see further over the fence. The kid that couldn't see over the fence, but just, barely, can see over the fence. And then there's this other kid who can still not see over the fence. Versus what actual equality is that, yes, the first kid, the slightly shorter one, needs one box. The kid that cannot see over the fence with one box needs two to see over the fence. The first kid never needed a box. X? Why are you doing this? That's sort of where this comes in, is you're promoting groups that are not in any way disadvantaged. Now, there's a whole nother article, and I refer to it often, and we can even share that one if we wanted to. It takes me a minute to find it, and it's actually a PDF download. But it talks into the, being white and poor. Like, I've never, and the topic of the article is, learning the understanding of what that equality is. Like, I'm white and poor, my life's not great.
Right.
Is the concept. And, so this is all PC BS. And it's like, no. There's a bunch of things that you don't realize are going on in your life that are putting you in a better position, even if your life isn't great. There's this whole other closet of crap. You could, in addition to your life's not great, could be made worse by.
Right.
Like, you're not gonna, if things like getting profiled by the police, stopped and frisked, on down the line.
Right.
There are lots of things happening that will never happen to you. No one is afraid of you in a dark alley, or generally speaking, would not be.
Right.
Versus this other group that, it's how many years since 1965 or 1964? And still you tell the story of it's late at night, you're in an alley, a black man is approaching you, ... fill in the blank, and most people have fear. That's what you find out.
Yep.
And it's like, yeah. Oh yeah, there's a whole list of benefits. Because Ashley was going into sentencing is different, medical care is better, education is better. Yeah.
All right. So we wanted to cover that right before we ended the show. Because we wanted to get all the stories in this week, because it's been a lot.
Yeah, it's been a whole lot. Welcome to 2020.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, come on.
But if anyone is needing an uplifting moment, please realize that out of the office of President-elect Biden, Major has released a statement regarding Joe Biden's injury.
Okay.
If we want to pull it up, I'll read it.
Go for it.
Okay, 1 second. It's worth it. It's fun. Getting there. Takes me a second. It's actually cute. And it may have no, apparently. Okay, we'll find it. We'll do it next week.
Yeah.
It was cute. It may have just been a cute play, but it was cute.
Well, yeah, anything coming from Major is cute. He's one of the first rescue dogs. He may be the first rescue dog moving into the White House. Just saying. Yeah. All right, guys. I will be on network later. You can always reach me at aesonknight.com. You can always, get a hold of Techy Joe at Mystic Knight Computers.
What? Mystic PCWV.
Yeah, Mystic PCWV.
You're going to send people to the wrong websites, I swear. But yes, so I will take over Vanna duties in just 1 second, because I always want to make sure I don't miss anyone. So, of course, we want to thank our Patreon sponsors, Beverly Walker, Mika G, Kathy, Mary Winfield, Brenda Bryant, and, of course, the Crystal Lotus Shop, located at 89 Old Main Plaza in St. Albans, West Virginia. If you're in the area, make sure you stop in and check them out. If you'd like to learn more about the show, about us, or becoming a Patreon sponsor, please visit PCSPnetwork.com.
All right. So you guys have a lovely evening, a great weekend. Wash your hands, wear a mask, act like adults. most as possible and have fun. Good night, y'all. Good night, Joe.
Good night.